anything can go, for instance. Talking about whether President Muhammadu Buhari would heed to the call or not, and perhaps it is about his future. It is about his posterity. It's about his political career. It is about a legacy. Do you think, going by some of these observations and, of course, concerns, the president would listen to Nigerians and do the needful? Because some would say he has nothing to lose. Perhaps he's not seeking for election in 2023, and he wouldn't have liked, to also give a baggage for himself that will continue. Do you see him reasoning along these lines?
Yeah, the president doesn't listen to anybody. So perish that thought. Why are we here? Which of these are politicians? Our politicians are removed, detached from the realities of our people. Detached. So for anybody to say, it's technocrats, politicians, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Let me finish.
Okay.
Our politicians are detached from the realities of the sufferings of our people. That's why they stay in Abuja and keep making policies. How many ministers that represent their state in the president's cabinet go back home and spend weekends with their people to see what their people are going through? How many? How many members of the House of Reps or senators go back home and spend a weekend with their people? They are here in Abuja. So the honest reality is that the politicians are detached from the sufferings of our people. So we sit down in Abuja and give consultants, and they come up with big policies and all that are completely detached from the realities of our people. Let me finish.
Okay.
You go to Katsina, that's where I come from. Many villages, you take out 1,000 naira and stand in the town square. Nobody there can give you change. Because nobody has change.
Why?
Because people are poor. This is the level of poverty. Oh, even in the so-called Lagos and all that. Let me finish. Even in the so-called rich Lagos, we saw flooding in Ajegunle. We saw kids in Makoko in the river. Politicians are detached from sufferings and realities of our people. End of story. We sit down in state capitals and make policies. We do not know the realities of our people. I know here. And I hear this policy that, in 10 years, we will have gotten 100 million people out of poverty. When in 6 years, how many people have been gotten out of poverty? Yeah. More people are going into poverty, and many more will go if we do not do this the right way.
We are talking about the politicians, the policymakers, but even those that are watching on the sidelines are also commenting. Take, for instance, the former CBN governor, and talking about Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, just recently also mentioned that. In fact, he was suggesting that the National Assembly should impeach the president for not implementing the subsidy removal. He was also, saying that Nigeria as a nation should not, it is the populism that we're talking about, the populist government we intend to run. It's not the right way to go. We have to look at a state, that is productive, that is not, providing the feeding bottle, but then providing an enabling environment. Do you think, it is beyond the policymakers, even the thinking among the economists and so on, also give back to this?
Yeah. So it's okay to be an armchair economist in Abuja and not know what's happening to our people in Bazari, Kauranamoda, or Kitupupa, or Kiwi. Right? The facts are there, but you should humanize whatever you do. The same governor, the same Emir Sanusi, there was a clip of him as an Emir shedding tears. Why? Because a lady brought her child in the back after going to hospital. And every Emir, every cleric, they have a long queue of people coming, seeking for help. He was waiting as we saw people, and then all of a sudden he had screams, people. He asked why, what happened? The baby she was carrying, she'd been to hospital, they gave her a prescription, she had no money, she came to the Emir, and they always do that. The baby she was carrying, waiting in line to see the Emir, passed away on her back while waiting to see. What was she looking for? Money less than 1,000 naira. She died. The baby died. So this is the realities of people that every emir, every cleric that live with the people, not the politicians that don't live with the people, or us, the elite. They see the realities of our people, and our policies are not taking cognizance of the sufferings of our people. End of story.
But the same people are postulating for this.
So back to where we are.
Yes, and then before that, let's also digest, one of the, the issues raised by the governor of Kaduna State, who happened to speak, perhaps on behalf of the governors. He said this issue of subsidy has to go, has to end, because if the government did not do this at this point in time, by next year, governors cannot even pay salaries. How are you, looking at some of this, the situation we find ourselves, because they're trying to use this to show that it is something that must be done now?
Well, my answer to that is that if fuel prices go up, cost of living goes up, then labor will ask for increase in wages. And whatever they think they are going to benefit from the Federation account as a result of removal of subsidies,